Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown has finally shown a bit of skin in the past week, with a giant 30-minute reveal stream. And even though some parts of the game still looked wonky to say the least, the interest of racing game fans across the world is undeniable. And after over a decade of waiting for a new game, TDU fans are buzzing at any new information out there concerning Solar Crown. That's why we went out to take a closer look at what was shown to us, only to see that some points are still flying under the radar. Especially our final point could still present a major obstacle in TDU's success. That's why you should stay tuned to learn about these 5 things you may have missed in the Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown Reveal. And with that, welcome back to Overtake. Test Drive Unlimited has kept us on our heels for a long time now. Almost 2 years since the first information about the game was released, fans of the genre were desperately looking forward to hearing anything at all. And that came in the form of a big gameplay reveal stream, which featured multiple huge influencers racing the streets of virtual Hong Kong. During the half-hour presentation, viewers got to know the first bits and details about the newly introduced clan battles, for example. With the streets versus the sharps, a new socially competitive way to play Test Drive got introduced to us. Both parties are represented in 2 different headquarters, which are on the opposite sides of the map. And here we got to see the first bit of nuance some of you may have missed. Due to the undoubtedly hectic nature of the live stream with 6 streams simultaneously, you may have not noticed, but races to a headquarter or landmark do not have a defined route. That's right, the rivaling clans will be able to race each other to certain points or their main headquarter. There won't just be a single route to the destination, however. Similar to the GPS in a road car, the course adapts to whenever you turn and shows you a new way every time one is available. That is super cool because of the freedom that comes with it. The Test Drive genre has always been known for being more open than other games of the competition. If these small races are interactive and create unique ways for you to tackle them, it's only for the better. It's also only for the better for your YouTube game if you hit the like button, subscribe, and tap on that bell so you're always in the loop whenever we reveal very important information like this. But back to TDU. The non-restrictive nature of these small races is especially refreshing considering the road races seem to be confined by these horrible gates once again. I really don't have any idea why every single arcade racer out there thinks that these gates are so necessary in the gameplay, but that's beside the point. One other aspect about these alternative routes is also interesting. In some trailer material, we did get to see off-road action being a part of Solar Crown again, which is not really a surprise given that the game will run on the WRC engine, which Nacon developed for years. But one thing not shown in the trailer or the reveal is if off-road is a constant option or just there for limited events. Because what we did get to see is a lot of focus on actual road racing, compared to something like Forza Horizon, which you could argue is almost too free. But freedom, social interactions, and sharps versus streets aren't only here for the fun of it, they have a bigger purpose. Clans in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown will be a core element in the gameplay. The objective of the battle of the 2 factions will be to topple the other and win the all-important Solar Crown. The way to do that, however, is still somewhat hidden. Of course, winning races against the other faction will help, but how actually does this graph, for example, move? And this is exactly where the second thing you may have missed comes in. You see, FRIM is a concept that was a genre first in TDU 2. It stands for Free Ride Instant Money and is a mechanic which allows the player to pick up currency as they progress the open world. So jumps, misses, finds, and discoveries should be bringing you some of that all-important cha-ching to progress that bar into the right direction. When we take a close look at the clan screens, a very prominent term is solar coins. From our mastermind deductive reasoning skills, this is probably the in-game currency of Solar Crown. So it seems a combination of earned coins and won races could decide the fate of the Solar Crown competition. This is obviously a new approach. As in no other Test Drive game before, factions and online play were such prevalent features. It remains to be seen how narrowed down the contest really is. Can you decide the size of the group that will compete for the Solar Crown, or will it always be a worldwide contest? The money focus, however, would be very TDU-esque, as the core game kind of always revolved around money and how to earn and spend it. So in this department, there seems to be a lot of faithfulness towards the original series. A way in which TDU may upgrade its roots is coming up now. While Test Drive was never considered to be a major player in the simulation department, some people who have already played it consider it to be more realistic than other arcade games on the market, which could have been the third thing you missed in the reveal. Black Panther, for example. He was part of the gameplay stream and released a commented version on his YouTube channel, giving some additional context. In there, he called the game more on the simulation side and less arcadey than games like Need for Speed. Interesting enough after some of the stuff we did see in the reveal. But if we look at some of the scenes more closely, we do see where it comes from. Firstly, there seems to be car damage in the game again. This could obviously be seen by the changes to the car's exterior, but also by the different repairing spots which are able to freshen up your car. I highly doubt that there's more than cosmetic damage, but who knows? Maybe driving too recklessly will give you a disadvantage in the long run. While the actual driving, of course, doesn't really reflect real life very much, you could see major differences in the way the vehicles handled and behaved on the road. An indicator maybe that KT Racing did take things more serious than we thought. Aside from that, Black Panther also praised the sense of speed Solar Crown delivers to its players, which is an underrated aspect of racing games in my opinion. If I think back, there's quite a few games that make 250 kilometers an hour feel like nothing and manageable. So who knows, maybe in the end TDU will deliver a new Simcade masterclass to us. What they will deliver, pretty surely, is a blast from the past, however. Or fourth thing you may have missed in the reveal is probably nothing game-changing, but something game-enhancing. And that is the wreck collecting across the map. As I mentioned before, the Test Drive franchise has a very specific character, and one aspect is the crazy love for cars. Every car maniac will find something in the earlier TDU parts to love, and because of that, an old feature will make a blazing return. Back in TDU 2, wrecks were a way to acquire cars by not paying for them, but by collecting parts across the map. If you found enough of them, you'd be able to restore the ride and collect it in the used car dealership. At parts of the livestream, you did see a similar pop-up appear, hinting very strongly at the existence of them in Solar Crown. To add to that, every time the entire map unfolded, we did see a little screen telling us how many wrecks were in the district and how many we already collected. Not everything needs to be a revolution. And while changes are good and necessary, it is cool to see an older feature make a return to this game even a decade later. Many people who did already dabble around with Solar Crown called it a pretty seamless continuation of the series. And while of course it's way too early for us to confirm or deny that, we like the looks of some of the announcement and hints so far that the game has not completely forgotten its roots. For our final point, however, we're still kind of unsure. The final thing you may have missed in the gameplay reveal of Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is a combination of two factors. One is so subtle, but carries big implications for the finished product and needs to be talked about. For anyone who hasn't given much attention to the end of the live stream, you may have missed the part where it was revealed that Test Drive Unlimited would only be released for next-gen consoles and PC. On first glance, nothing major, of course. As the gaming industry progresses further from the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, it is natural that some, if not all of the titles, decide to only release for the current-gen consoles. But is Solar Crown ready to pass that test? It doesn't look like it currently. Without going too hard on the shown footage, as it is obviously an alpha, nothing really screams next-gen for me. The buildings, streets, and cars look meek, and frankly like something straight out of the apex of the old-gen era. Yeah, I know, it's unfinished, and that kind of brings me to the second factor of this point. There still is no release date. So if we combine that, we have a game that currently looks old, but is new, and with no real release date. Just a vague early 2024, even 2 years after the first announcement. And to add to all of that, we're only releasing on current gen. So especially in terms of presentability, I hope we can really rearrange some things in the coming months, just so all the awesome parts of this game can truly shine, and not get overshadowed by possible problems which may arise. If you want to know which problem arose with the current genre of racing games, then clicking on this video right here will provide you the answer in no time. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, cheerio.